Have you ever had one of those days where nothing seems to go right? You oversleep and you're running behind first thing in the morning? On your way to work in the morning, you catch every single red light on your commute? You go to get a cup of coffee and they get your order wrong. You get to work and then your boss asks to have a meeting to talk about your performance. You get a call from your spouse, you forget to get the butter. You get ready to go home for the night and you find a flat tire on your car. We've all had days like this. There's an adage actually called Murphy's Law that says that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. The truth is, many of us go through life believing this way. We think that it's just who we are. Not everybody can be as lucky as him, is the lie that we like to tell ourselves. And if you're feeling that way today, know that you're not alone. As we look at Matthew chapter 16, we see that Peter was having one of those days. At first glance, he's having one of those mountaintop moments with Jesus. Jesus asks his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" Well, and they begin to explain to him that other people said he was John the Baptist or Elijah, Jeremiah, or one of the other prophets. And then Jesus turned the question to a personal level when he asked the disciples this, "But who do you say that I am?" Peter responds saying that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Peter got it right. He makes the bold declaration that Jesus was the Messiah. Even when others had tried to say that Jesus was just a prophet, Peter knew the truth, that Jesus was who he said he was. Jesus says that you are blessed, and I say that you are now Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. And I'll give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Talk about a proud moment with God. Peter was having one of those days where everything seems to be going right, until it started to go really wrong. You skip down just a few verses, and while Jesus was actually explaining his coming death and resurrection, Peter says, "No, Lord, this will never happen to you." And Jesus responds with these powerful words when he says, "Get away from me, Satan. You are a dangerous trap to me. You are seeing things merely from a human point of view, not from God's." Other versions say to get behind me, Satan, for you are a hindrance to me. Jesus goes from praising Peter and telling him that his profession of faith is the foundation of the church to calling him Satan and telling him to get away. But notice what Jesus concludes his reprimand with. You are seeing things merely from a human point of view, not from God's. So often we read this story and we think, how could Peter not get it? Obviously, Jesus was going to go to the cross and he'd rise again. But remember, the disciples were taught that this coming Messiah was going to be a political leader or a ruler, that plan wouldn't be true if Jesus had to go to the cross. We like to sit back and make fun of Peter for missing the moment, but how often do we live this same way? We look at life through our sad lens of nothing goes right for me, and I believe it. The truth is that when we don't look at life through God's perspective, then we're actually a trap to the people around us. When we go through life believing everything that can go wrong will go wrong, it impacts the people around us. They begin to believe it for themselves. And maybe you're having one of those days today. I want to encourage you with this, to set your mind on the things of God. Paul says this in Philippians 4:8, "Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise." If what you're thinking or believing about your life today doesn't fit into one of these categories, then you need to surrender that thought and pray that God would give you clarity. When you keep God's perspective, those days where everything seems to go wrong won't be so burdensome, because you'll know that God is walking with you through it.